So after doing the valence bond theory and shapes of few complexes, let us know the limitations of valence bond theory. First limitation is it only predicts quantitatively the magnetic properties of the complexes. It gives no idea regarding the magnetic properties and what are the how the magnetic properties they are being originated. It does not explain the color exhibited by coordination complexes, and thirdly it does not explain the kinetic stability of the coordination complexes. So in order to explain these drawbacks, a new theory was put forward. That theory was crystal field splitting theory, and according to this theory we will be now discussing the postulates of crystal field theory and its advantages over valence bond theory. Then we have crystal field. So postulates of this theory. This theory only gives the association between the ligands metal ion and the ligands is purely ionic. The ligands are considered as point charges. They hold or surround metal ion with electronegative atoms pointing towards metal ion, or the negative ions, negative atoms of the ligands help to hold metal ions. By ion force or by ion dipole force. Dipole force is seen in case of the negative ion and metal ion, and ion force is seen in case of the metal ion, and these are the negative ions of the ligands, attacking ligand, here metal ion, and these are neutral dipolar molecules or dipolar ligand molecules. And fourth is the geometry of complex depends upon nature of ligand and its orientation around metal ion. So this will be explaining the orientation of the ligand and the nature of the ligand that helps to influence the geometry of the molecule. And then we have the force of attraction between the metal ion and the ligand, that is we have explained through ion dipole force, or it is ion force. The number of ligands surrounding metal ion and their orientation is responsible for the shape of the complex. Then in the presence of ligands, the degeneracy, d orbitals, degeneracy means they were having equal energy, is lost in the presence of ligands. when ligands approach metal ion, then d orbital they split up into two sets, and d orbitals split up into two sets. These sets are T2G set and EG set. So d orbital they are split up into two sets in the presence of the ligand field. Strong ligand field they bring more splitting of the d orbitals. The weak ligand field bring the less stability and less splitting of the d orbitals. And the limitations of valence bond theory were it gave only quantitative idea regarding magnetic properties of the solids. It could not explain the kinetic stability of the complexes. Thirdly, it could not explain color of the complexes. All those limitations will be now overpowered by this theory, and it will definitely explain all those limitations. Sixth point of postulate will be the magnetic properties of these complexes will be predicted by seeing the number of electrons in the different set of d orbitals, T2G set and EG set, and the color of the complexes would be explained by migration of the electron from lower set of orbitals to higher set of the orbitals. Moreover, the stability of the coordination complexes that would be explained by this theory. It is mainly because of the interaction between the metal ion and the ligand. If ligand field of the attacking ligand is strong, it will definitely form more stable complexes. If it is weak, it will form a weak complex with a weak force or less stable coordination complex would be formed. Now we'll be explaining the crystal field effect in octahedral, tetrahedral and square planar complexes by this theory. So first of all we take crystal field effect in octahedral complexes. Now what are octahedral complexes? Octahedral complexes are those complexes where metal ion is present at the center of a octahedron, and the ligand they are present at the six corners of a regular octahedron. Ln is ligand, M is metal ion. So this is our octahedral complex. As soon as the ligand they approach the metal ion, the degeneracy of the d orbitals that is lost. These are the d orbitals of metal ion, and this metal ion d orbital they are of alike energy. As soon as ligand approaches these metal ion, their d orbitals split up into two sets. The lower set it is called as T2G set. Upper set of two orbital it is called as EG set. E is epsilon or G rand. G stands for G rand. Since these complexes they have a center of symmetry, that's why this set is called as epsilon G rand set. It is of high energy, and this set will be of low energy. This is called as T2G set. These are three orbitals here, two orbitals there. These orbitals are dx square to y square and dz square. This is dxy, dyz and dzx. Since when ligand approaches metal ion, the energy of those orbitals is affected more, whose lobes, electronic lobes, they were lying on the axis. In these orbital, electronic lobes are lying on x-axis and y-axis. Here, electronic lobe is lying on z-axis. But in these orbital, electronic lobes are lying in between the axis. Here in between x and y-axis, here in between y and z-axis, here between z and x-axis. So energy of these orbitals that is likely to be affected more. and this energy from this place to this place, this is called as crystal field stabilization energy. And this energy difference from here to this is having 0.6 more energy than the normal energy of the d orbital. This set is having 0.4 lesser energy than the normal d orbitals. So this is the splitting in the crystal octahedral complexes, and if metal ion is having any electrons in this ionic state, those electrons will remain in these states, and for d1 configuration electron will occupy this orbital. For d2 configuration it will again go in this set. For d3 configuration it will again go in this set. Now after occupying 3 electron, the fourth electron, it can either go in the T2G set or it can go in the EG set. It will all depend upon pairing energy and crystal field stabilization energy. If crystal field stabilization energy is greater than pairing energy, then electron will definitely go in the lower set, making the configuration T2G4. If reverse is the case, if pairing energy is more, then electron will definitely go here, and the configuration in that case will be T2G3 and EG1. Similarly, for the fate of fifth electron, if crystal field stabilization energy is less than pairing energy, then electron will come into this set. If pairing energy is more than that, crystal field stabilization energy is more than that pairing energy, then electron will be occupying this orbital. If pairing energy is more, then electron will definitely go to our upper set, and T2G will remain 4 here. So in this manner electrons are filled in the orbitals depending upon crystal field stabilization energy and pairing energy. The electron, they can occupy both the sets. It will all depend upon the stability of crystal field stabilization energy or pairing energy. And then we have the calculation of energy of these electrons. So energy can be calculated, stabilization energy. We have formula for that, minus 0.4 x plus 0.6 y, where x and y is the number of electrons in T2G set and EG set. Now, in order to explain the magnetic properties, if electrons are unpaired in any of these orbitals, the molecule will be paramagnetic. It may be ferromagnetic if number of electron is more. And secondly, for explaining color, when incident light falls on this type of complex and electrons from lower level, they absorb some visible light, wavelength of the visible light, then these electrons will move to the higher level. The remaining color, they will be reflected back from their surface, which will become the color of the complex. Thirdly, valence bond theory could not comment upon the kinetic stability of the complexes. That can be commented if the ligand field of the attacking ligands that is strong, then they definitely result in pairing of electron in these orbitals, and it will give you the low spin complex and the magnetic properties, or you can say kinetic stability of the complex, that will increase. But if the ligand field is weak, in that case you will find that they will not help, they will not force the pairing of electrons in the lower orbitals, and electron will move to the higher orbital. It will result in high spin complex, and in such cases the magnetic properties will pronounce more. So all of these limitations of valence bond theory, they can be well explained by this theory, that is our crystal field theory. Then we have crystal field splitting for tetrahedral complexes, and in tetrahedral complexes the splitting is altogether just reverse of this splitting. In this case, the energy of 3 orbitals, the orbitals which are lying, the lobes of which are lying in between the axes, they are affected more when ligands approach the metal ion in a tetrahedral complex. So tetrahedral complexes are those complexes where metal occupies central position of a regular tetrahedron and ligands are present at four corners of a regular tetrahedron. So these are the degenerate set of d orbitals. When four ligand they approach these orbitals, then these two d orbitals they split up into two sets, and lower set, this is upper set, this set is called as T2 set, this is called as E set. G is not used here because that means these complexes they do not have any center of symmetry, and electron they will tend to occupy the lower orbitals initially. When they are given energy they will go to the upper orbital. The energy of this set it will be raised by 0.4, and the energy of this set it will be decreased by 0.6, and this total energy is called as crystal field stabilization energy in this case. And the energy calculation, crystal field stabilization energy can be calculated by formula here: 0 4 plus x plus minus 0.6 by, if CFSE crystal field stabilization energy comes out to be negative, then complex is more stable. If it comes out to be positive, then complex is less stable. Here again, the strong ligand field they will bring the crystal field stabilization energy as a negative, so they will give more stability to the complexes. So this is crystal field splitting of the tetrahedral complexes. The remaining theory is same: delta O, if it is greater than P, then electron will definitely move to the lower orbitals. If P is more than delta O, it will go to the upper orbitals. So this is regarding tetrahedral complexes. Then we have crystal field effect in square planar complexes. Square planar complexes are those complexes where metal is lying at the center of a regular sphere, and the ligand they are lying at the four corners of a sphere. This is square planar complex. All the d orbitals they are of same energy. First of all, they split up into two sets. This is dx square to y square and dz square, dxy dz. dz. After this, it will further split up into two sets: dx square, y square. It is of highest energy, and from here this orbital will come up. It is dxy orbital which is coming here. Then we have dz square orbital whose energy decreases much here. dz square orbital comes lower in the series. Then we have the energy of two orbitals from here. They are dyz and dzx. So this is, now we have four splits in the square planar complexes. The energy of dx square y square set is the maximum. dxy it comes in the second in the order. Then we have dz square. The energy of dyz and dzx is least, because in this case the ligand that approaches at x and y axis, that's why the energy of these orbital increasing much. And after that z axis is affected. Then we have dyz and dzx whose energy is lying lowest in this effect. Then we have the advantages of the crystal field theory. It explains the magnetic properties of the complexes and using the principle of strong ligand field and low spin state and weak ligand field. So the strong ligand they produce more stable complexes, the weak ligand they produce less stable complexes. If the electrons remain unpaired, they are paramagnetic. If electrons are paired, they are becoming diamagnetic. Then we have color of the complexes, they can be explained if electron from lower level to move to higher level by absorbing energy of the incident light. Then we have the explanation of stability. Strong ligand field give more stability to the complexes as compared to weak ligand field. Then what are the limitations of crystal field theory? It considered ligands to be the point charges, so they should exert greater splitting effect. However, the anionic ligands present at the lower end of the spectrochemical series, they do not exert greater splitting effect, and it takes metal ion ligand bond, a purely ionic bond, and it does not consider the covalent character of the bond and can be well explained by the other theory, ligand field theory, that will be explained at higher level. So this is regarding crystal field theory. Then we shift to the other compounds.